I want to also ask you just about your interests. Obviously, you have these interests in technology, geeky type of interests in nerd culture and whatnot. Embracing these things that obviously, like growing up, from listening to and watching some of your past vlogs that might have ostracized you from, the other people that you were growing up with in school and whatnot. What drew you down that path to be interested in kinds of those things? Like, was it just, growing up, you just had an affinity for action figures and other stuff that maybe necessarily like younger girls might not be interested in?
Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's not like I had an older sibling or something like that was interested in this stuff. I was the oldest sibling in a house of 2 girls. And I just really enjoyed watching the real Ghostbusters and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, much more so than like Care Bears or My Little Pony, which were the other shows that were on at that time. And my mom tried to push me kind of into the more traditional feminine shows, or shows. She always said shows that were not violent. Like, she really liked Care Bears because they weren't violent at all. But it's just that's not the entertainment that I was into. And then when the original NES hit the scene and I saw friends of mine start to get the Nintendo Entertainment System, I was like, oh man, I want that. Like, I was always into board games, but as essentially an only child, my sister's 5 years younger than me. So as essentially an only child for a while, convincing my parents to sit down and play Life or Monopoly with me was like a struggle. They weren't always available. So video games meant that I could still play games and I didn't need to coerce my parents into setting aside time to do it with me. So I was like, yes, that's what I need. And my parents, at the time, the Nintendo was very heavily marketed towards boys. My parents, it was very expensive and they were like, I don't know about this. But I kept asking and I kept asking. And eventually a family who had gotten the Nintendo Entertainment System, where one of the parents worked with my dad at his job, was getting rid of Commodore 64 because they had now upgraded to the Nintendo. And so they were just getting rid of it. And my dad was like, oh, that's like video games, right? My daughter might like that. And so he brought it home for me. So even though that's, kind of the gaming generation before me, really that was the first video game system that I got to play on. And it was very hard to find games and stuff for it at that point, especially for my parents who weren't so in the scene. So eventually, they did, kind of as everyone else was upgrading to Super Nintendo, my parents got me a Nintendo Entertainment System. And it was awesome. And my life kind of was changed forever. And then when I got to the point where I was like, hey, can I get the Super Nintendo, please? They were like, no, you're so done. Like, you play so much. We're nipping this in the bud. But at that point, then we had a computer, like a family computer for school or, whatever else for my dad's work. And I very quickly taught myself to play the games I wanted to play on my computer and what I needed to do to the computer to get it to run my games. So I remember looking at my dad and saying, okay, this game Doom takes 4 MB of RAM. How do we get 4 MB of RAM? Because, I didn't know the internet to look it up wasn't really a thing. And I was also probably like 6 or 7. I was very young. And my dad didn't know he's a mechanic. That's not what he does for a living. But bless his soul, he helped me figure it out. And so from a very young age, I was, very comfortable messing around with technology to achieve the end goal that I wanted to achieve. And all of these interests were completely separate from I want to be in theater. So it was very, very strange then when I came out to LA, I got my theater degree back east, and then I came out to Los Angeles to pursue an on-camera career, that I kind of tripped and fell into digital content. And I had never even thought about the fact that I could get paid to talk about my hobbies, like my interests. Like, I was excited about tech. I was excited about gaming, but I didn't think that was anything that like related to a job that could pay you money. It was just so far out of the realm of, growing up in a small town. It's like, here's the jobs you can get. You go to school for these things and then you become this job, whether it's a doctor or a lawyer, whatever it is. And so I decided, out of the jobs that I was aware existed, performing was the one that I wanted. So then when I found out that like performing and all the other stuff I like to talk about could kind of merge into one career, that was a really cool moment. And that was really the beginning of this wild adventure.
Hey there, thank you so much for watching this excerpt of the Videocraft show presented by Video Husky. If you're a content creator that struggles to organize scripture ideas for your videos, I've got a resource for you. You can get a copy of our free script template. Using it can help you structure your videos and save you hours of time from filming in the process. To get it, all you have to do is just scroll down on this video, find the link in the description, and subscribe to our email list. From there, it'll get delivered straight to your inbox right after you sign up. And by the way, if you're enjoying these videos, can you do us just a quick favor and hit the like button before you go? And if you haven't already, make sure you're subscribed to our YouTube channel too, to stay up to date with all the content that we're creating here on this channel. And finally, be sure to tune into the Videocraft show presented by Video Husky on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever it is that you get your podcasts. We've got links in the description down below. If you want to watch or listen to the full episode, just tap the video right next to me over here, and that'll take you to the entire episode in which this excerpt is from. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.